Hello.
Hey.
How are you?
Oh, pretty good this morning. Practicing some social distancing.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
It's so crazy.
I know. And now we're at like another Monday, so it's been like officially like 3 weeks or 2 weeks or something, which is crazy.
I feel like it's been forever. I'm not used to this. Like stay in the house thing. Whew.
Same. I know. And I like go for walks and I'm like, how long can I walk for? Like hours.
And it's so cold.
It's so cold. I know.
Or even Dolly doesn't want to go outside. I'm like, every morning we're like kicking her out the door to just go to the bathroom. She just stares at us.
Right. She's like, no, thank you.
I know. She's like, Mom, help.
Yeah, it's too cold, but hopefully it's gonna get nicer next weekend.
Hopefully.
But yeah, so let's jump into this. I know people are still joining and everything, um, but we don't want to take up everyone's time and your time. So, do you want to start with introducing yourself? Who are you? What do you do? Why are you here?
So I'm Sarah and I'm a hairstylist. I'm the owner of Diversion Salon in Chestermere. Um, we are here today to talk a little bit about what we're doing anyway, to navigate this crazy time. I think I can speak for all business owners when I say we've never experienced anything like this before, so it's brand new to all of us. Um, I hope I never have to experience it again.
Yeah, I know. And but this is the time I think, which is kind of what we're going to talk about, is like now we're all setting ourselves up for like hopefully, obviously fingers are crossed that this doesn't happen again, but then you have the like backup plan for your business, which I think a lot of people didn't have.
No.
Yeah, so let's talk about a little bit about your backup plan and how you're dealing with that. So, how long have you closed the salon for? Like, when was the closure and how was that? How has it impacted you?
So we decided to close on March the 17th, and then we're officially completely done on the 18th. So I closed up the salon. The girls haven't been back in since the 18th, which is really hard. But what I have done is I've set up our online store with our products that we use for at home use, like shampoos and conditioners and styling products, scrunchies, because I know most of us aren't really doing our hair anymore. So they're really awesome. But yeah, I've set up an online store, and basically I'm just trying to give everybody some tips and tricks to kind of deal with their own hair now that we aren't
Right.
there to help them.
Yeah, I know. And I think that color, like speaking of like a blonde or like, I think it's going to be a rough couple months for people coming up since you can't. I mean, I guess you could box dye your hair, but
Yeah, for sure. I've definitely had a lot of clients messaging me and asking me like, what do I do? Actually, we laughed the other night. Someone sent me a message and was like, all jokes aside, how much for a black market haircut? And I was like, oh, no, not happening.
yeah.
Sorry. No price tag. I like my life and I like being healthy. So we're going to go with no.
Yeah, it's definitely not worth it.
No.
And so when you were setting up, so you can sell your products online. So how is that to set it up? Because I know, like I've talked to a couple people and they're like, well, I can't afford to set up like an online business or I can't afford to like do any of that. So how did you set it up? Did you do it? What was your process for that?
Um, so we have online processing kind of anyway, like credit card processing and stuff. So it was kind of um easy to jump into that because I already have a processor, like Square is what we use. So setting up a store through them was fairly easy. I just took the products that we already have for sale and added them into the store. We don't offer shipping. I will do curbside pickup or delivery within Chestermere and kind of surrounding areas. But no, I really didn't find it super difficult if you already have the processes in place. Like if you just used a regular terminal debit machine before, maybe it would be more difficult.
Right. But I guess most businesses probably have some sort of online payment, I guess. But I guess if you don't, like, what would your suggestion be? I know you did, but what if someone didn't? Like, do you think it's worth setting it up or paying? Because I'm sure to set up a Squarespace or like using Square can't be like overly expensive, and it's probably
It's not.
worth it
So,
for
honestly,
businesses.
I would definitely recommend it to everybody. The fees per transaction are like slightly higher than I think what a regular debit machine would be. And I don't know, I haven't looked into it for a long time, so I'm probably not a good judge on that. But Square was super easy to set up and they were really helpful. So as long as you have your banking information, which most businesses I think do, yeah, it was a pretty seamless experience.
Right. And have you had a good feedback on that? Like, are people picking up on, I guess people need good products too, but has it been a good
Yeah, it's
response?
definitely coming along. It's here and there. I think some people are still in the idea of this is going to be over soon. And I kind of laughed the other day and I said to Mikey, well, everybody needs to wash their hair. He's like, do they? I feel like that's not happening anymore either.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
yes,
I guess you don't
everybody
have
does need
to.
to wash their hair.
And with good products, like you don't need to start using like a Walmart brand. Like there's still access to good products. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I would rather you not wash your hair at all than try and use something like that.
right. You heard it here first, folks. This is don't wash your hair if all you have is cheap stuff.
For real.
And just talking about the products in case people are interested, what are your like top ones that you're selling that people should buy for quarantine
Um,
life?
so we carry a brand named Design Me. They're Canadian, so I really love them for that, especially right now with everything that's kind of happening in the world. It's nice to keep things at home. But they have a couple really awesome shampoo and conditioner lines, one for finer hair and one for a little bit thicker hair. And the thicker hair line, Gloss Me, is great for everyone right now because nobody's going out. Like, soak your hair in everything moisturizing right now because now is the time. But yeah, they have some really great products. So I'm really trying to support them and push the Canadian. They're also animal cruelty free, vegan, gluten free, all the good things. So I really love them. They're
No,
kind
that's
of my go-to right now.
yeah, no, that's awesome. And so we kind of touched on it, but what have been the most challenging things you've come across in the last 2 weeks? So business wise, personal wise, let's walk us through that.
Oh my goodness. Business wise, I guess would be actually wrapping your head around the thought that you're not going into work every day. You're not seeing people. I'm used to seeing people all day long. I sit in my house and I'm like, I wonder what this person's doing. What did they do today? Oh, I remember they were going on this trip. So navigating like not being around people is for sure one of my biggest challenges, I think. Also not having the other stylists around me. Like that's kind of hard, I find. And making sure they're okay. You know, like as a business owner, you kind of, for us anyway, like all the stylists that work in our salon are employees of the salon. So they're not contract, they don't rent a chair, they are employees. So making sure that they're okay during this time and knowing that they're getting all the help and resources that they need to kind of keep going too, right? That's a challenge for me. I worry about them. Also business wise, just wondering when this is going to be over and when we're going to be able to go back to normal, and trying to use all the resources that are given to us, which is kind of up in the air right now too. But yeah, and I don't know, personally being home is a challenge because I miss everybody, but I'm definitely enjoying staying in my Lulu's every day and having hot coffee in my house before I have to do anything else. That's like nice. I
Yeah,
don't
I
get
think
that often.
totally. I think we're all getting used to just like not having to go anywhere, and we're all just like, oh, so this is what like a nice calm morning is like, but like every morning.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is nice to experience that a little bit. We kind of set up our home gym in the garage, and so I'm working with it. It's not my ideal lifestyle, but we're going with the flow anyway.
Totally. And how have you, since it's been a while, and like you said, like I don't think this is going to be over anytime soon. So how has that changed the way you even think about your business? Since obviously you're brick and mortar, you have the clients. So how has that changed just your mindset about your business?
Um, it's kind of interesting because when you're in the go 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 of everything, your business is just it just is. This is the structure we created. This is what we're doing, and we're just going with it. And you just live every day like that. And now you have the opportunity to kind of take a step back and go, is my business structure set up exactly how I want it to be? What can I change? What can I make better? What can I make better in the salon as a whole? So I've kind of sat down over the last couple weeks and have looked over like just our contracts and the way we do things. I had a designer come in yesterday. That was actually really fun to try and change things up in the salon a little bit. So I guess my mindset's changed from the go, go, go of it to turn back into like, let's take a step back. What's working? What's not working? What can we change? What do we want to keep? And how are we going to roll this out once we are allowed back to work?
Right, because I think this is a time that for everything that you wanted to do with your business, because everyone is always like, oh, I wish I could do this and I wish I could do that, and like, but you just can't because you don't have time, or like there's always people in your salon, or like, or you're just always going and there's no time to just like stop and think about it. And so I think this is the only time people are going to have to really do what you're doing and like look at everything that you've done in this business and decide what it is you want to do. And I think there's going to be, obviously depending on when this is over, but there's going to be people that are like, oh, I wish I would have taken the time to do something rather than just like, oh, I binged the entire Netflix, or I, like didn't really do anything. And I think there's going to be a little bit of regret with people who didn't take advantage of this time, especially small business owners.
It's hard though. Like, don't get me wrong. I think in the last whole year, I've watched 2 shows on Netflix, and they were both like in the last 2 months. So I can see how people get caught up in the Netflix thing really easily, which was never a thing before. Like, I couldn't even tell you what was on TV before this pandemic happened. Now I'm like, oh, I like this show. This show's kind of good. Like, so looking ahead and saying like, I'm taking the opportunity now to do it, and maybe some people aren't. I don't blame those people either. Like, it is kind of nice to sit back and enjoy some Tiger King.
Yeah, is it? Are we enjoying it, or are we just like, I don't even know if that's enjoyment or not.
I don't know. I fell asleep in the first like 4 episodes and then just watched the last couple. So I was kind of like lost in the whole thing, but I don't think it really mattered.
No, now you understand the memes, and so that's all that really matters.
Pretty much.
And is there specific like tools or like routines that you've added to your day to like, because I know like you don't want to spend all day like thinking about your business. Well, I know you spend all day because you text me about it, but for other people,
I know, you poor thing. I'm like, what about reel me back in? My ideas are getting wild.
No, I love it. And I think it's good to have all those ideas and just write them down, or like have somebody that you can message to be like, is this a good idea or is this not a good idea? But you obviously can't think about your business all day. So even if you just spend like an hour or something, for people that do have to take that like extra time to regroup and not be stressed about it. So is there any like tools or routines or anything that you've added to your day that have helped with like clearing your mind of all these ideas or establishing new procedures and systems and stuff for your business?
I really enjoy cooking, and I eat fairly healthy. So I try and like stop myself at 5 o'clock every day and say, okay, now it's time to cook, and we're going to plan like a healthy meal. Not that I don't plan my meals a week in advance, because I am also that crazy person, but I take the time now, and it is a nice break for me. I missed having the time to do those things, and now that's my break. I enjoy it. I know some people are like, oh my God, cooking, that's so much work. But for me, it's enjoyable and it takes my mind off of having to think about my business. And like in hair, we kind of measure and mix and whatever. So it's like my little piece of hair. I'm measuring and mixing my food and it feels kind of good.
Yeah. And then you're eating healthy, so which is then you get like both benefits of it.
Yeah, for me, like eating healthy is huge. I know this is like completely off topic, but I don't function well when I'm full of junk food, and it's so easy to do right now. Um, but if I can keep myself on track with healthy meals, which is my kind of getaway, I feel better. So I wake up in the morning feeling better. I start my day with a good workout, a cup of coffee, and then I can kind of dive into what I'm gonna do.
Right. Yeah. No, I love that. And I mean, I'm on the same page with that. Because even on a Monday, because the weekends are usually like, oh, well, maybe we'll just like order in, or you have a little bit extra, and you can always tell on Monday morning that
Oh my
you
gosh.
haven't ate properly.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. No, and I think that's great to have the break and to eat healthy and stuff like that. I started adding in like a little like mindset thing. The ACE class puts on like like I don't do it. Like I can't sit down and make myself do it. So I like log in to the ACE class live and they walk you through it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it's every day for like half an hour. And I found that that's, oh, and there's Mandy. She just joined. I was just talking about the ACE class. And yeah, so the mindset thing has really helped with clearing the day because I think like I know we're exactly the same, but you do so many things and so there was never time to like stop. And so even by like 8:30, I'm like, well, if I don't have six things done, but by the time I do this like mindset thing, then my day isn't even gonna happen, you know? So I think it's been a real change and then prioritizing like eating healthy, doing the mindset journaling kind of thing to make sure that the day is gonna be as normal as possible.
I also can't say I'm like hating having as much time in the gym as I have. It's so like peaceful. We get up in the morning and go to the garage and work out, and I'm not like, oh my God, okay, 5 more minutes. How many sets can I do in 5 more minutes? Now I'm like, oh, we'll just chill at this and do it. Oh, let's add another exercise. Maybe not. So it is nice to have the little bit of time. I'm not quite as hard on myself as I was, I think.
Totally. No, and I think that that is great. And it's just good for like your mind in general to be able to take all of this in and keep everything as sane and normal as possible.
Yeah. In the most unnormal setting that every
Yes.
hairstylist is in right now.
Right. Yeah, because you're not doing hair. So I guess then you're not doing anything normal at all.
No. No, I said to someone last night, I was like, everything I love has like completely turned upside down right now. Like, I can't go to the gym. I'm working out in my garage next to like dirt bikes and motorcycles and tools, which are not my
Right.
thing, but and then I can't do hair. I can't see anybody. I'm like, oh God,
Yeah,
crazy.
it is crazy. And so what's your, like, you don't have to give an exact plan, but what's your kind of your mindset going into the next like few months? So what are you doing with your business to keep it evolving? Like what's kind of your like game plan?
So I'm kind of trying to get more online, more products into our online store, more tutorials, more help for people. If there's anything people need from us, I'd love to have some feedback on that. Um, it's so hard for me. I'm used to seeing people face to face and helping them with what they need right there. And I I sometimes don't know if I've put out all the options for people to like reach out and ask for help from us or me. Um, but yeah, with that being said, the online store, helping people as much as I can with anything that they need for their hair. Um, like I said, I had a designer come into the salon, so we are like looking at tweaking some things inside of our space. Um, and yeah, just trying to basically make everything the best that it can be so that when we do open up, we're ready to go.
Right. Yeah. And how has social media helped with all of this? Because obviously you can't see people. So kind of how have you utilized that aspect?
Um, I think more people are connecting, right? Like there are people who are reaching out. Um, I don't know, lately I've kind of been putting more of my feelings out there, which is not normally a big thing for me. But it's kind of interesting to see other people's feedback too, right? Like I've been putting my feelings out, and there's people I don't even know are reaching out to me and saying like, oh my God, girl, I feel you. I'm in the same boat. So it's social media has definitely helped in staying connected and not feeling so alone. I've talked to so many business owners and different types of businesses, and you know, I think we're all feeling the same things. It's just on different days. So it's nice to have the connection, even if you don't know them personally, but you're like, hey, you own a business too. Have you tried this? Do you think about this? So social media is good for that.
Right. Yeah. And I think it's good for small business owners, but just for everyone in general, like you said, we're all at home by ourselves, and you're just like, oh God, like, is everybody feeling like this? And then to actually be able to like ask people. And because
Yeah.
most people are willing to talk about it, and they just need to be asked as well.
And I think people are more open now maybe than they have been in the past, just because you actually have the time. I know before sometimes people would reach out and you'd answer them back with the quickest answer you could think of, but now you actually have time to connect with them, right?
Yeah, totally. No, I think it's been great. And I can input, since I do help you with your social media, that we've started to do like more video and more like tutorials and doing things that like you probably wouldn't have done before because there was no reason to. And like you said, like you're trying to help people with their hair. So like, how can you do like cute Zoom hair things? And so I think it's kept you occupied at least for for some of the hours of the day.
I know, you're like, if I could make her do videos, then maybe she won't send me 100 text messages
Yeah.
with all these other ideas.
But yeah, all the ideas are good. And I just think a lot of people right now, again, it goes back to the same thing where people are like, oh, I wish I had a bigger presence on social media. Or I wish I could do all these videos or do like IGTV and like YouTube and everything. So I think now, especially for business owners, to connect with their audience, because everyone's like sitting at home and needing that connection. So at least if you're creating those relationships with your clients, this is the time.
Yeah, absolutely. We all have the time now.
Yeah,
No
totally.
excuses.
There is no excuses. I'm holding everybody accountable for their social media presence.
Oh God. Okay.
I expect your tutorial videos ASAP.
Oh, come on. We're on it. Okay. I've been pretty good.
Yeah, no, you've been great. And I think if people like you, we mentioned this, but you send me your ideas and we kind of like brainstorm them. So I think if people need help with that, so that goes back to like connecting with people and just reaching out to other small businesses, being like, do you think this is a good idea, or is this a dumb idea? Or like, before I put it on the internet, like, can someone just validate what I'm trying to do here? And I think that that's what this community is also creating,
Yeah.
is like business ideas to help grow.
I will say though too, like be careful what groups you get into on social media and stuff, right? Like I don't know, I'm a part of a couple groups online, and some of the stuff that comes through them, and it's, yeah, you do have to go back to your own morals and your own values and what feels right and good to you. So just because people are reaching out to you doesn't mean that you have to have a connection with them.
That's true. That's actually really important to say, because I think right now there's some people that are taking advantage a little bit of the current situation. And so yeah, that's very true. Keeping just your eye out for and filtering what's coming through.
Yeah, absolutely.
And before we wrap up, do you want to just give your last pieces of advice for other small business owners that are, I mean, we're all going through this together, but specifically for small business owners?
Um, I guess my biggest piece of advice would be like use all the resources that you have. Like my poor dear accountant is probably so sick of me also. But use the resources, call your accountant. If you don't have one that you deal with personally, now's the time. Do your research, find one. Find one that you connect with, and really make sure you understand the processes of things. And I don't know, maybe you can take a step back and look at your structure too. I know a lot of the resources that are out there are very specific on what you need to have and what you need to do to qualify for help. So maybe now is the time for business owners to kind of take a step back and look at the best way to do things moving forward.
Right. Yeah. No, I think, and even I know it's like a personal thing for people and a business thing, but kind of looking at what you're spending money on
Oh,
and
yeah.
like cutting costs and cutting, I mean, time and everything. Like you can really, it's crazy now what we can all do while we're at home and not spending money that we were doing before. So I think a lot of people like time management is a lot better, not just spending money everywhere is a lot better. So I think now's the time, like we've said before, to kind of look at everything in your business because we don't like moving forward, your business should be different than it was before we started this.
Yeah. And really, like, I guess, like, my best advice for you is find like a really good support system. My accountant's amazing. Rachel's amazing. Like, this is, for me, I don't want to say it's been easy because absolutely this has been an emotional roller coaster. But having those people in your corner who know. I mean, for my accountant right now, there are things I call her and ask her questions, and she's like, those answers aren't here yet. But, you know, I know that she's working on it for me and she's staying up to date. So just having those specialized people in your corner is really helpful. Like, I'm a small business owner, but before I opened this business, I was just a hairstylist. You know, like, I didn't know anything about accounting. I didn't know anything about marketing. I always say, I'm like, I'm just good at hair. Like, I don't know that I'm good at hair. So making sure you have a really good team behind you is really, really helpful.
Right. No, I love that. And where can people find you? I know this is your personal account, so do you want to share your business account and everything?
Yeah, so on Instagram, we're Diversion Salon. We're also on Facebook as Diversion Salon. And I don't know if I should say this, but our salon phone is actually forwarded to my personal cell phone now. So if there's anything that you guys need, I am available all the time. I'm like pretty open scheduled right now, so if you need to call or talk to, like, I'm around. Rachel will appreciate you distracting me.
Yeah. Give her someone else to run her ideas by.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thanks for joining. Hopefully people got some insight from that. And yeah,
Yeah,
if people have
thanks
any
for that.
questions, they can reach out to us or you.
Yeah, perfect.
Cool. Okay. Thanks.
Have an awesome rest of your day.
You too.
Thanks.